Hey, now it's The Rock from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Let us welcome back to the show the incredible, the incomparable, the amazing, way better than Corey Graves, Jerry Valeri.
Oh, you're making fun of Corey Graves?
Oh,
That's it. That's it. You're on the list.
I am on the list. I deserve to be on the list because I keep going to that. The list.
Oh my God, it's so simple. And he did the same joke 4 times and I laughed every time.
Yeah.
Every time he put someone on the list, I laughed out loud.
Every once in a while you come across something like this where it just works, where wrestling fans just like it and it's funny and it doesn't make any sense. And anyone who's not a wrestling fan watching it wouldn't think it was funny, but you're right. The list is funny. Yeah,
the list is fun. And I showed the promo last week that we loved so much, that I certainly loved. And I showed that to a few non-wrestling fans, and none of them thought it was funny. So maybe we're on an island there.
Well, no, it's a wrestling fan thing for sure. You got to be a wrestling fan to think that was funny, I think.
You're on the list.
I deserve to be on the list.
I love when he disappeared. Like, I didn't like I know we'll get to it, but the Ashton Kutcher, Danny Masterson thing, they didn't do that great a job. But I loved when Jericho walked off screen and then he showed up on the other side. Like, he just looped the cameraman. And that was so funny to me.
You know what's funny is I did make that note also, but that kind of ties in with my first note last night because Roman Reigns kind of did that too at the beginning of the show. He didn't loop behind the cameraman. I think he went through the crowd. But I want to say that I thought Roman Reigns and Rusev had a really good brawl. And my favorite part was when Rusev kind of snuck up from behind when people weren't really expecting him to. I don't think they thought he was over at that part of the building yet.
Well, Roman Reigns, you mean?
Yeah. Did I say it backwards?
Yeah, but that's okay. I know exactly what you mean. Like, they start with Roman Reigns, and there's so many notes in the very beginning because you start with Roman Reigns, and then the whole place is just booing him mercilessly. Yeah. And Corey Graves says, like, listen to the reaction for Roman Reigns. And I'm just like, yeah, listen to it, idiot.
Please pay attention to it.
It's bad. Roman Reigns starts to cut a bad promo. I think is not a great promo. He's getting buried
just
by
floundering again. It's just doing his Roman Reigns flounder.
Right, but then. I feel like they figured it out. Or in the back, someone was like, he's drowning. Send some boobs out. Could somebody get some boobs out there? And then Lana comes out.
She looked better than she's ever looked last night.
Caliente.
With the boobs and then the boobs.
And the butt and the boobs.
Yeah, she's always been cute, but last night she was on fire.
Smoking hot. She was amazing.
Yeah.
And, she came out, and they were even chanting, thank you, Lana, because she saved it. She tells him to go to hell. Rusev comes out.
And I'm the idiot who, even after our conversation last week where you totally called this,
I can't believe it.
Still didn't see that coming with all the go to hell stuff. I'm over just watching, eating my food, and I'm just like, I didn't even see that coming. But you called where that went.
Oh, it's been getting increasingly violent. There weren't many other places for them to take it. I think this is great, and I'm outspoken against Roman Reigns. But one thing he does deliver, he's super aggressive, really good violent matches. He is a good worker. I think his moveset is stale, but he does a good job. He puts on quality matches in like those really intense. I liked his last man standing match against Big Show. Like matches like that, like he can do a violent match. And I think Hell in the Cell with him and Rusev, who's been stepping it up, that match could make them both big stars.
Yeah, I think that Hell in a Cell kind of goes towards those limited moveset wrestlers like Undertaker and who's another guy who's like Lesnar's been in there before. And
Mick Foley, Mankind is a great example because he had a limited moveset, but his career was made at Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, and you're right. When Roman is intense and violent is when he's at his strongest, I feel like. So I think that this would be a good setting for them.
I'm intrigued. I like the match. I always like cell matches, so they've got me excited for a Roman Reigns match. Congratulations, WWE writers. Way to go. And I couldn't think of any other match that they'd put in a cell. So that's the only reason I said that it could be. So I'll take credit for that.
Well, you know what? There's someone else I want to congratulate the writers for, because they made me interested in somebody else who I didn't think I could physically be interested in, but I am, and I'm jumping around. Do you want me to save it or tell you now?
Go ahead.
That got me interested in Sheamus, by golly.
Oh boy. Well, I'm not there yet, but I see why you are. I appreciate why you are.
We'll get there. We'll build up to that one. So I did say, yeah, so that was my note from the first stuff. The brawl was good. I liked when Roman Reigns came from behind. You called the main event for Hell in a Cell, if you want to call it the main event. And also that Lana looked better than she ever has last night, just hotter than usual with the boobs.
Holy.
So there was that. Not a lot of notes from the cruiserweight stuff. It was good. You know, I like what they're doing. I think TJP is doing a great job. I think Kendrick's doing a great job. I love TJP's entrance.
Love the entrance. It's my favorite entrance.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, it's fantastic. And the Rollins promo in the back I thought was good as well. Not much to say about it outside of that, but I hate being the guy who's just like, that was good. I hate being like the third grader, you know, critiquing their friend's book report, but it was good, and there wasn't much more to say about it.
It was like, turn him into a face 101. Like they're building him up as a face. It's happening now.
See, like, I feel like they're doing it it's happening in the right way. Like, for example, when Austin went from being a heel to a face, Austin didn't change anything per se. The audience just kind of caught up to him, if that makes sense. And I feel like the same is happening with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is not changing what he's doing.
Yeah, it's not like philosophically he's a different person. He's just changing his motivations a little bit and the way he's handling it based on who he's fighting. It's more natural. It's more organic. Yeah,
it's better. It's better than forcing a change. You know, it's just like, or maybe what I'm trying to say is that this is when the real excellence happens, because I feel like it's these are the turns that last the longest with the most impact, like Austin's.
Right. And again, it's what makes people love the character more, is because it doesn't seem phony. Like, I'm just going to be a bad guy today.
Right.
Rob
Yeah.
a bank.
Well, and Mick Foley nailed that. I think he wrote about it in his first book, maybe his second, where he just talks about the motivation of heels, and takes for a great heel, he has to have the proper motivation, and explaining those motivations is crucial to getting a heel character over.
Which is why I think Kevin Owens is amazing. It's just all about him proving his worth and him supporting his family. Those are his two motivations, and he goes for it.
Yeah, being bad for the sake of being bad doesn't translate to being a good heel, in my opinion.
Yeah, like the 80s. Like, oh, I'm going to repossess your car.
Nobody likes a dirty plumber, so here I am to plunge your toilet.
Nobody likes repo men, and nobody likes people from other countries, yes, clearly.
I am from Japan, therefore I will drop the bomb on you.
By the way, and to take this a hard right, I'm sorry, I saw somebody, and it went viral last week. Bill Clinton was posed with a box of Bootio cereal, and I'm not getting political, and I'm not saying one side or the other. That doesn't matter to me. But a lot of people on the right were complaining that this is racist. Look how racist he is, and I was like, what do you mean racist? Bootio cereal isn't racist.
Yeah, how is that?
If anything, it's sort of sexist.
Why am I don't even get how it's any of it.
No, so people were going crazy, and like Donald Trump mentioned it or whatever, and like
he did.
And then all of a sudden people were like, it's a WWE tag team and they're black. You know, it's not just like Bill Clinton drew a bunch of blackface characters on a cereal box.
I love how Donald Trump is now trying to position the Clintons as racist. That's funny.
That's great.
My next note had to do with Chase Silver, and he had a dream. And
a gut.
He did have one of those too. He had a dream that he was going to beat Braun Strowman.
Yes, he did.
And unfortunately, that dream didn't pan out for him, Jerry.
I will tell you a little thing there that I really appreciated. You know, Braun comes out, and then they go to the interview. And as they're interviewing him, instead of Braun's standing at the side of the ring. He's not even in the ring yet, and he's just smiling, like trying not to laugh. And I like that they're making him, he's a monster, but they're sort of making him human, and he doesn't even sweat these guys. And so I'm intrigued now for next week. I wonder what kind of competition he's going to get.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like a Bo Dallas type, to someone with a name, but jobber level. What about, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. I'm going to say...
locking in.
Okay, sure. I'm going to say Jinder Mahal.
Locking in on Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
See, I think that you're right. It's going to be like a Bo Dallas or like an R-Truth type level of a guy. Maybe Titus O'Neil.
Oh, that's a good choice.
You know, they're not going to feed him somebody like Sami Zayn yet. They're not going to.
Well, wait. No, I should. Well, it would probably be a babyface, wouldn't it? And Jinder Mahal's a heel.
Right.
Bo's a heel. Who was the name you mentioned? R-Truth is in a tag team. It won't be him. Titus is a heel. Who's a babyface level job guy?
Neville.
I don't think Neville's a jobber. I don't think it'll be him. It could be. I'll keep it locked in on Jinder.
Okay, you're locking in on Jinder.
Yeah. What about you? Are you locking in on?
I'm not locking. I'm locking in on that level of person. They're not. Okay. They're not going to just give him a big guy right away.
My favorite parts of Raw, and you mentioned this last week.
I'd love it if they gave him Big Cass.
I don't think that's going to happen. You want to see Cass go under?
No, I want to see Cass beat him.
Oh, I don't think it's not a good move to have Braun lose on Monday.
No, I know,
that'd stop all his momentum.
Right.
My favorite parts of Raw right now, aside from the Cruiserweight too, I love anytime they're on my screen. I adore them. Jericho are the best part of Raw.
Is it? And did you notice they went away from calling them Jericho?
They did and they didn't. They were calling them. Someone said Jerichoans once, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I loved how did you see something subtle they were doing? Jericho was calling them Jericho and Chris and Kevin, and Kevin Owens was calling them Kevin and Chris.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's great.
That was happening subtly.
They're building slowly to those two. And they're not being subtle about it either, about the fact that those two will fight at some point. They
kind of put the pedal to the metal a little bit last night, but I want this to be prolonged. I don't want Owens' next feud to be with Jericho.
No way. I want those two to be. It's because they're. I mean, it's gold together right now.
It's so good. I don't want that to stop.
If they stop it, the writing staff will be on the list.
That's right. They would be. Yeah, and you're right. He did a great job with. I don't like. There's sometimes when celebrity interactions are good, and there's sometimes when they're bad. First of all, Ashton Kutcher is a celebrity. I couldn't even tell you the guy's name who was with him last night.
Danny Masterson. He was the co-star on that '70s show, and he's best friends with Ashton Kutcher, and they're doing a show together. The fact that he was, one of Ashton Kutcher's buddies on that '70s show is the only reason he was there last night.
I did not really think they made a positive impact on Raw. There's been celebrities who have certainly made worse impacts, but I didn't really care for them last night.
I did not enjoy it.
So my note about them has to do with the commentary in general, which I know I go to every week, and I wish I didn't, but I wish it was getting better. So I wrote that that was a long time for Ashton Kutcher and the other guy to be on commentary. I thought that it felt too long.
And they gave him such a big match too.
Yeah, and then my other thing was it was also exposing the holes in Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. Some people are really natural at being a heel on commentary, but Corey Graves is not one of those people. It's not natural with him.
No, it's almost like he read a book on how to be mean, and he's just reading it word for word.
Right. And like
you're a dork, Byron.
Yeah, but like when Heenan would do it, or when Ventura would do it, or the King would do it, it sounded so natural. Right. And when Corey Graves does it, I know it's his role, and I do like my heel commentators to be over the top. Like I want them to always be like how the King was just always rooting for the bad guy, and Bobby Heenan, you always knew who he was rooting for because he's the heel commentator. Right. I like when they're over the top like that, but Corey Graves is not good at it.
He's just not good at it. He should start calling people ham and eggers.
But that would imply that he was Bobby Heenan, which would be implying that he's good at it. I don't think he should be doing that.
And he's not.
But I see what you're saying. He's just trying to rip a page out of the old school's book, and it's just missing for me. And the commentary is having a really negative impact on my enjoyment of both of the shows.
Yeah, it's easier to ignore on SmackDown because it's Otunga's kind of drowned out by JBL, who I like more on SmackDown, to be quite honest, and Mauro Ranallo. Whereas Michael Cole is just swimming in a tank of turds.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I feel they. Wait, you said Mauro is?
I think Mauro's great. I think Mauro and JBL are good.
Yeah, JBL's good.
And there's one turd. You've got Otunga.
Yes.
But when you've got one good guy sandwiched in by turds, then you've got a problem.
Yeah, and I think Raw's got a problem.
Am I wrong that Byron Saxton's getting better, or is just Corey Graves so bad that I think Byron Saxton's getting better?
I think that's what it is. I think that Corey is trying so hard to be over the top with his heelness that it's making Byron look better. Because now when Corey is calling Byron a dork, it's making Corey look like a dork, even though Byron is still a dork.
Yeah, and it's making Byron look better.
I thought that Raw is doing a really good job of getting all these tag teams, A, on the show, and B, over on the show without doing the 12-man tags like SmackDown has resorted to. Like SmackDown, to get their teams in and over, they're putting them all in one long match, which I don't care for. They have no time. They have no time. It's getting nobody over. It does nobody any favors to be in a 12-man tag match.
Right.
These guys are actually getting, like, if you have 3 short, important tag team matches, and one of them was not short, but you know what I'm saying? Like 3 tag matches is better than one 12-man tag, and Raw proved that last night because they've got so many teams over right now on their show.
Right. 3 tag matches and 1 tag segment that had nothing to do with wrestling at all. You know, you have Enzo and Cass come out for the Susan Certified G. Komen Foundation.
Yeah, right.
And that was okay for what it was. Sure, you wish you could see Enzo and Cass in a different kind of environment, but I see why they put those 2 out there with those women. They carried it. They did a great job.
Yeah.
It's just to your point that the tag teams are all over.
Yeah, they're very much over. And I had a note about them too. Is this a thing is this going to become a thing, or have I missed it? Has it already been a thing? They had special mics last night.
It's been 2 weeks now, and I'm pretty sure those are their mics now. They have
That's cool. I like that.
I like it too, but they're both the same size. So like they're huge, and the one doesn't look huge because Big Cass is holding it.
Well, you know, I don't think Big Cass should have a special mic. I think maybe just Enzo should.
Enzo should have it, but Enzo's holding it. And it looks like a boat rudder. It's so big in his hands.
I'm with you there. Maybe just let them use one, or just have Enzo's mic be special because Enzo is special on the mic.
Yeah, Cass is getting a little bit better, and
Cass is fine, but Enzo's special.
Going back to Braun Strowman, he was actually not bad on the mic for the 10 seconds he was talking. I mean, Titus O'Neil could have made that a disaster. Braun said what he needed to say, got out of it. There were no big flubs last night.
Well, that's the thing. You know, when you got a guy like Strowman who's not known for being a good talker, to protect them by saying, all right, Strowman, you've got 10 seconds, get the point across.
Get it across. Don't go rogue, dummy.
Don't go Titus O'Neil on us.
Don't you dare.
All right, and then before the main event,
don't you try to paint a picture. Don't even try.
Were you watching wrestling in 1997-ish?
Yeah, that was right out of high school. Yeah.
One thing that kind of inspired this was like they're very big about the Royal Rumble right now. It's returning to the Alamo Dome, which the Royal Rumble was held there in '97, which I thought was a great. It was a cool event and a great venue for a Royal Rumble. And while it seems a bit premature to start talking about it now, one thing that happened at the Royal Rumbles from those years, do you remember the minis? Does that ring a bell, the minis?
The minis? No, like midget wrestlers?
Yes, correct. They were midget wrestlers, but they were called minis. But a lot of them were parodies of real wrestlers, like Mini Vader.
They come out as DX or something,
it was before DX, but there's like a Mini Vader. I remember. I'm trying to think of another example. There was plenty of them, but they were just mini wrestlers dressed up like the real wrestlers.
Yeah. Tony
Nese looks like mini Damian Sandow to me. Do you see it, or am I on an island there?
He looks like he looks like mini Hercules.
Well, I thought I see that too. And he's not even for the cruiserweight division. He's kind of like, Max, somebody else. He's big, but I thought he looks like mini Damian Sandow.
I thought last night that it was a tale of 2 cruiserweight matches because the first match did what we wanted it to start doing with the cruiserweights: establish characters, establish storylines, something that will evoke emotion in the fans. You've got T.J. Perkins, who clearly has the homeless thing, and he's the top, super talented, did some cool moves.
I hear guys are pissed about that too.
What do you mean?
The boys in the back are pissed about that he keeps saying that as like a badge of honor, the homeless thing, because they've all done the same thing, but just
they've all done it.
They don't make a big deal about it.
But he's making a big deal about it, and it's working for him. And then you've got, Brian Kendrick comes out and is turning heel on him, and he's like, "No, I'm going to ruin your life here. I'm taking, this is going to be my belt." And
he's doing a very good job, by the way.
I think that it makes it more compelling. It adds another level, another layer to it. So it's not just good wrestling. It's good wrestling with a story that's compelling. Now conversely, you go to the next cruiserweight match, and you have this one guy that everybody seems to like that I can't stand. What's his face? The dude that comes out dancing.
Oh,
and then
Swan. Yeah, Rich Swan.
Yeah, I think he's a jerko. I don't like him at all. I'm just like, oh, you're on my TV now.
I don't have a problem with him. I mean, like, they don't need to be your favorites, but like, you got like the Raw.
And then Tony Nese, and that match had nothing. It was good, but it was like there was no story.
Yeah, but it's still so fresh and new. I feel just like it will get there. And I actually want to disagree with you, because I think last night did a lot for Rich Swann, making him a character. Like the crowd was into his entrance, like they were like clapping along with him at the right time, doing things in sync with him. Like I actually thought that he did whether he won or lost, I don't even remember, to be honest with you. It got him over as a personality, I think.
I want him out of here. I want him to start hanging out with Ryback and Alberto Del Rio.
You want him out?
I'm done with him already. I didn't like him in the CWC, and I don't like him now. I don't like his entrance.
I think you're a little harsh.
It's what I want. I like what I like.
That's true. And then I don't have any more notes until the main event, which I don't even have any. I guess I do have some thoughts about it. It's cool to see sometimes when the time is right, and when the feeling is special, giving the women the main event spot is great.
Heck yeah, it doesn't matter which belt it is. I think a championship match on a show should be the main event, and it delivered.
Yeah, it was good, but I will say my only complaint about this was I wish either it didn't happen or that the first Sasha Banks title win didn't happen. Because the first one felt so special, and this one didn't have that same level of excitement for me personally.
Well, that's because it was exactly what it was. It was them giving the belt back to the person they wanted to have it, but took it away from because they thought she was really hurt.
Yeah, so I just wish it was one or the other.
So they took it away because of the back injury, and then she recovered much more quickly than they thought, and so they just gave it back to her. Like, we'll just reset.
Yeah, but you can't capture that lightning in a bottle twice, and they tried to, which, I mean, I guess you have to try.
Yeah, you have to try.
So
it's good, and I thought Charlotte looked much better last night, and that freaking corkscrew flipperooski she did under the outside of the ring, that was amazing.
I know people disagree with me, but I think Charlotte is really one of the best female wrestlers of all time. I really do. I think she's the best right now.
I agree with you. I also agree with the detractors that say she's dangerous and sloppy, because she's that as well.
Okay, what outside of that one match at SummerSlam, if you take that one match out, do you still agree with it?
I do, but to a lesser degree. I mean, that's the most egregious examples.
Yeah, it certainly is. That I can't defend that.
I mean, there were 4 times where she could have killed Sasha, and then just one time where she dropped her off the ropes. There were other matches where there were little things, but little ticky tacky things. But okay. For the big one, SummerSlam is the best example that I have.
Anything else from Raw? I had one last topic I want to throw at you and get your thoughts on.
I don't know. I thought it was an A. I thought it was a great show. Way to go, Raw.
Oh, I didn't think it was an A.
Thought it was an A.
I would go C+ last night.
So A it is.
Sure. Okay, fine.
Why do you always have to disagree with me and be a hard grade?
Watch Raw from the Attitude Era, and those are A shows.
I did, but it's not. But we're never going back there. We gotta have a new criteria.
Okay, so it's a 2016 B.
It's an A. A it is.
What do you think about Ric Flair doing Holly Berry?
His sex life is an A. That's for sure.
Yes, we agree on that one.
An A++.
Yeah, I think so too.
Is this confirmed by her, or do we just have rumor now?
He said it. He came out and said it allegedly on his podcast, which I haven't heard yet. But someone asked if he's ever been with celebrities. He responded with dozens. The co-host asked him to name some names, and he said shortly after her divorce from the baseball player in like the 90s, I think it was 97, he took Holly Berry to Splash Mountain.
To Space Mountain.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't know. Perhaps for Holly it was Splash Mountain if it was really good. But it was Space Mountain. I suppose you're right. I did screw that one up. That was my fault.
Caution. On this ride, you may get wet.
It seems like to coin a wrestling term, stress.
Woo!
And I think with that, we just end on Splash Mountain.
What were you gonna say?
They seem like strange bedfellows to me. I don't know. It seems unlikely, but if he says, I have no reason to not believe him.
Listen, he's wheeling, dealing, jet riding, flying. I don't remember how he says it, but
kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, Learjet flying.
Splash Mountain, baby.
Splash Mountain. All right, listen. What else can you say about it? I mean, like, good for Rick. You know, good for Rick.
Good for him, because I don't think he's getting that level of stuff these days.
Well, that seems like a stretch for me, even in '97. But what can you say?
I imagine him after he gets to know somebody in the biblical sense. I assume that's what he does, you know. And if he doesn't have one of his robes, he just grabs the hotel robe.
Excellent stuff. All right, listen, we got to go out on that one. For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner Jerry Valeri. Is there anything else you want to say? Because I'm going to play the music.
Woo!